By the light of the sun, by the depth of the moon, by the flame of the wand, and by the pentacle of earth, I call upon the guides of wisdom, the ancestors of the craft, and the holy guardian angel. Guide us now through the steps of the dove and serpent. Reveal what is hidden, so we may transform it into light. Hello, Leo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Today we walk the path of the dove and serpent spread, an 11-fold journey of transformation. Each position reveals the unique aspect of your journey, alternating between who you're becoming and the world you're creating. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Leo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the Lover's card. This is a choice, right? This is position 1. It's called the station. This is what is on your mind when you go to sleep at night, right? It might be whether or not you have already made the right choice, or we're trying to understand what it is that I need to commit myself to, right? This is the card of choice. It represents not necessarily romantic choice, okay? Put your pitchforks away. It could, though. But this is the idea that what I want in life, I want to give myself to it 1,000%. This is the 1,000% heck yes card, okay? And I think that this is how you see yourself, okay? This is kind of what your truth is. You're somebody that can commit. You're somebody that can make big changes, make big plans, and you can stick with them. Okay. You don't take these kinds of commitments lightly. You don't go back on your word. When you commit to something for which you feel a deep purpose, it consumes you, and just you get absorbed by it. You know, whether this is a relationship or whether it's a project, a personal goal, whatever your quest is, this is that commitment to that quest, to that journey. And this is the card. It's not just any old choice. It's not just the daily choices we make, what kind of cereal to eat or whatever. This is like the life choices. This is something that says, if I choose this, if I commit to this, I'm not going to give up on it. I'm not going back. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to forget about it or give up on this. So it could be the commitment to a life goal, a family goal. It could be work, career, school. It could be something at home. It could be a personal fitness kind of goal. But this is something that feels like it's meant for you. What you're seeking, it feels like it is seeking you as well, you know? So I think that and of course the Lover's card is very often a card about family. It's about that kind of a bond with something, a deep and intimate bond with a person, a place, a thing, a path, an idea, okay? Feel like we are marrying ourselves to something here. Okay. And maybe you're somebody that does not take this kind of commitment lightly, and so you want to make sure that either you're going to make the right choice or that you have already made that right choice. But this is kind of what's on your mind, is this commitment, this union, this marriage. We need to put this card into a little bit of context. So let's do that now. As we know, context is everything. Here we have the making it official, right? That is also a choice, but these are two different. This is the ceremony of marriage. This is like the legal document you got to mail into the courthouse or whatever, right? So it's the marriage license, let's say. So these are both cards of choice, but they're the different aspects of the choice, okay? Now we have the Heart or Temperance card, which is another card kind of balance. You know, we kind of have two sides of something coming together, two sides of something being weighed out, two sides of something coming together in a union, right? So we really feel that there's a sense of wholeness that we're experiencing right now. There we have the Death card. We have the 8 of Wands, which makes perfect sense, you know. We have a 2 of Wands. We're making the decision because this is the choosing of the quest, the life path. What is my life all about? What am I committed to? You're someone who's loyal to a fault, okay? Let's put the rest of our cards on the table here. We have the 4 of Swords, The Eight of Swords. Prince of Swords. Of course, it makes sense. It's going to be air energy, right? And, oh my gosh, the Luster Strength card, the Leo Superpower card. The Luster Strength card represents the Leo energy, the archetype of Leo, right? So we have all of this consideration, all the major arcana that we have over on this side of the table. We have this choice, this commitment, this saying, this is my will, and I am doing this thing. This is what I'm choosing. And then, of course, we have all of the sort of mental deliberation. We have the doubts. We go through that process of kind of overanalyzing things and kind of saying, well, did I make the right choice? We have a steady mind. We have you entering into the best version of yourself. Like, this is really an empowerment. This is a courage. This is a passion going forward with no reservations, with no doubts, with no issues, no qualms, no second guesses, right? It's full empowerment here. This is amazing. You have no idea how big this is going to be for you, okay? It's bringing you into your true, and that's really that's going to be an important card when we get to that card, okay? Because, well, might as well just talk about it now. Because that's requiring, that's the destiny card, position 10, right? It's destiny. That is kind of saying, what do you need to do in order to bring about your destiny? What is it that you really have to embody? Well, you have to have that courage and that commitment, that you have to allow yourself to be fully invested in this thing, to fully let yourself go, to feel that surge of passion. If we have one foot that's kind of like out the door thinking, oh, well, I don't know if it's really the right thing, we're not going to be fully engaged with this thing, whatever it is, person, place, thing, idea, choice, life, path, quest. So the Lust card is really saying we have to really give ourselves over to it, and no more doubts, no more questions. Do it, with your entire being, because that's otherwise we're kind of half-assing it. You know what I mean? We kind of have one part of us that's like, well, I don't really know. I need to have some backup plan, or I still have these attachments to other things that are preventing me from being fully involved in this. Okay, and that's not really doing justice to this new thing, whether it's a relationship or a life path or an art project or a new friend or whatever it could be, okay? So this is really awesome. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it over here with Tiny Bob Ross right on top. Now, we're not going to look at that happy little card until the end of the reading. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end, okay? If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card could be, well, put your predictions in the comments down below, okay? Now, as we look around the room, we see obviously major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana energies. We got fire, and we've got air. We don't have, what are the cards that are missing? Well, we don't have water. We don't have earth. The absence of the earth card is kind of telling me that maybe you haven't quite done it yet, and that it really doesn't matter what it is. What matters is how and why you're doing it. Okay, I say that all the time here. It doesn't matter what you do in life, what your activities are, whether you're a plumber, whether you're an electrical engineer, whether you work in an office, whether you're trying to make content, whether you are a musician or an aspiring actor. It doesn't matter what you're doing. What matters is how and why you're doing it. If you're doing it because it speaks to your soul, because it's grabbing your heart, because it is pulling you forward and it feels like this is what you're supposed to marry yourself to right now, then that is, to me, that is passion, that is soul, right? That is spirit. And the lack of water energy right now is kind of like, in a way saying that we haven't allowed ourselves to really enjoy this yet. Like there's some kind of almost a caveat. There's something that's like, well, I'm not letting myself really feel it yet. Okay? Because maybe we're just like, well, I got to make the decision. I don't know. We have all the air energy here. We're kind of questioning. And we haven't yet let ourselves go. I feel like there is a lot of love for this thing. It's the Lover's card after all, right? But I don't know that we have really tapped into our emotions here. I feel like we are when we get to the Strength or the Lust card, because that's kind of like, I'm letting my emotions like drive the boat here, that I just feel this, and not just like our fleeting day-to-day, I feel happy, I feel sad kind of emotions, but no, that deep passion, that soul level emotion for you. You're sort of allowing that to take over in a way. So I kind of feel like this is me wanting to experience this flood of emotions and all this happiness and all this love and all the pleasure and luxury and all this just joy. And but yet I'm trying to be reasonable, I'm trying to be thoughtful, I'm trying to weigh the options, I'm trying to be higher wisdom discerning, you know. And this is kind of saying like, that's it, whatever. I'm wide open kind of, you know, I'm opening that channel of that water energy and it's going to flow. Okay, so I feel like this is where we really tap in. So I would expect the mystery card to be some water energy. I feel like in the extended reading we'll probably have a lot of water. I feel like right now we're trying to decide if it's reasonable, smart, or safe to let that water energy flow. Okay, and I think that's kind of the nature of this this thing for you. Card number 2 is, of course, the Justice card, or adjustment. This is the battlefield for you right now. This is your personal quest. This is what is kind of being presented to you as a part of your quest, as a challenge. I mean, you've got to show some courage here, because this is that card of kind of weighing those options. Maybe we're trying to weigh our heart and our mind. Maybe we're giving a lot of credence to what our thoughts are. Maybe we do need a little bit of water in the other of the scales here in order to say, what does my heart really want? I feel like we're really intellectualizing something when maybe what we need is to really feel. How does it feel to you? Not in that surface level, fleeting Queen of Cups mystery card. In that fleeting surface level, well, does it feel good right now? Then I'll do it. If it feels bad, I won't do it. That sort of thing. No, it's speaking to the depths of you. That you're weighing, it's a weighing of the heart here. Is this something that really, you know, what does your higher wisdom and discernment say? What does your conscience say? What does your higher self, God, goddess, deity, your spirit guide, guardian angel, ancestor? What does that energy tell you? Okay, so we're not trying to judge this opportunity, life path, or this choice. We're not trying to decide just by the surface level emotions, nor should we try to decide by just the logic. Well, I'm going to just do a pros and cons list and say, well, this one pays me more, or this one's closer to my house, or this one maybe has better options on it, or whatever. And that's how I'm going to decide. I think we need to do a little bit of both. We need to understand how we feel. We have to do this logical thing. But we have to ultimately make the decision from that higher place. That higher, you know, feels like a conscience. To me, I kind of look at it as the true self, or speaking from the heart, or choosing the path with heart. Okay? So your quest right now seems to be making this choice. Approving of something. Sanctioning something in your own life here, because there is this kind of this marriage, this union, this, I think, a real desire to come together with this person, place, or thing. But we're trying to be very reasonable about the consequences of that choice. If I choose to do this, what does that mean? What does my life become? Right? We're trying to find that authentic truth right now. And Spirit's saying that you read a lot. You do read. You have like a lot of books, or you're researching something, or like you're studying something a lot. Yeah. This, like I said at the beginning, kind of feels like the marriage, the wedding ceremony, and then this is of course, like the legal paperwork, making something official, right? So it's kind of like this is the spiritual heart choice, and this is like the higher mind choice. Yeah. So you kind of have your higher thinking and your higher feeling faculties that are working together. This is the ultimate combination of kind of heart and mind working together in a kind of synthesis, okay? But it's not just our fleeting emotions, and it's not just the way our thought, as we can see, since we're kind of going from a 4 of Swords to an 8 of Swords, you know, to a 64 of Swords, to a 128 of Swords, that we don't want to just We don't just want to use our kind of, let's say, our human thinking apparatus, because we're just going to think about it some more. The more you think about something, what happens? Well, the more you think about it. Thoughts beget thoughts, right? They build on each other. They reproduce. They're like bunnies, these thoughts we have. But this is not that, okay? This is tapping into the higher spiritualized mental functioning, I guess, and that emotional experience. The higher heart and higher mind. The spiritualized heart and mind, okay? And for you, this may come by way of a lot of meditation or a lot of prayer and other methods that you might have of kind of calming down some of this overthinking energy. I feel like you kind of have a classic overthinking energy going on right now. Yeah. So your quest then is to make that higher wisdom and discernment choice. It's like you feel it in your higher love, but we need to also kind of make that final choice in the higher mind, the enlightened heart and the enlightened mind kind of thing. And I think that's what you're going to be doing. Now, underneath the surface, we have the pressure cooker. It kind of feels like for you time is ticking a little bit. We have the Art or Temperance card underneath the surface. This is position 3, represents something going on in your soul. I feel like you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself in order to do this. I don't know why we feel like, maybe we kind of feel that something's a little bit fleeting, or something is like, spirit's knocking at the door and it was like, uh-oh, I better make a decision quick. Because I feel like you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. Yeah. This is the card of, it's a card of art. All right. This is the card of really this really is the true blending of the heart and the mind. Okay. The thinking and the feeling functions sort of mingling together in the pot of soup, kind of marrying each other in the pot of soup. And so I feel like that's kind of what's going on with you, is that you are allowing your thoughts and feelings to really interact with each other and to really like get a sense of what our own truth or authenticity is, what our authentic self is trying to say right now. Okay, this is again, it's kind of a furnace. This is the alchemical alembic, or the retort, or the it's that 10,000 milliliter round bottom boiling flask, right? That we will put our thoughts and feelings into in maybe a meditation, or maybe in a prayer, or some sort of practice that you employ. But this is, to me, feels like a card of blending energies together. I feel like what you are really looking to do is blend your energy with this other force, this other entity, this other person, place, or thing, this other idea. I think that it's really like that's part of your consideration, is that you want to merge with this thing. I'm really surprised we don't see the water energy here. But again, I feel that there's an emphasis on the air energy because this process seems perfect, right? This seems absolutely wonderful. The major arcana are just fine. If we didn't have the small cards, we only had the majors, I would say this is, absolutely amazing. Because I feel like you have cleared the space. You are ready for your heart and your mind to come together and blend. You're ready to merge your energy with the energy of this other person, place, or thing. And then, of course, here is that sort of merged, in a way, there's that merged form and the passion that results. Okay? So it really is like you're giving yourself permission, you're giving yourself sanction in order to blend your energy and mingle your forces with the forces of this other person. We can call it a person, it doesn't have to be a person. But this other path, this thing that you want, right? And then what's getting in the way of this, of course, is our human thoughts, our human mind that's kind of like, well, I don't know, maybe there's other things that I kind of want to do too. Maybe there's part of me that's scared. Maybe there's part of me that kind of wants to do something else. Or I have doubts, I have insecurities, I have questions. I don't know all the answers. I don't have the best plan. I can't predict the future. And so I'm a little bit nervous, And I think that there is a growing kind of anxiety here. I kind of feel that there's there feels like a need to hurry up and make a decision. Okay, but back to the art or temperance card here. I think we're trying to temper our enthusiasm a little bit. We're trying not to rush into something that feels good, I'm really excited, and I'm just going to jump in. We're trying to say, okay, well, wait a minute. Let me think about it first. If I'm feeling really, really eager, maybe that's a sign I got to slow down. And I got to sit with it, meditate on it, so to speak, contemplate, over it, and really kind of, in a way, marinate in this energy to see how it feels. I got to sit with it for a few days and make sure that this is what I really want to do. Because, when we have that impulsive surge of enthusiasm that says, oh, heck yes, I'm doing it, we need to make sure that's not just coming from, again, kind of this lower mind or lower heart sort of impulsive energy, like one of the princesses, Princess of Wands, maybe Princess of Cups, that's just like, oh, I feel it, heck yeah, let's do it. That we're tempering our response to something. Maybe we see the option on the table and, we want to just leap in and jump in without thinking, but we're trying to temper our responses, you see. And this is also the art card. We're kind of wondering here, is my life going to be better if I unite with this thing, this person, place, or thing? Is my life going to be better? Am I going to like who I'm becoming by mingling myself with this energy? And so we're trying to think of the consequences. Very often this card, this is the card of alchemy. Okay, the interpersonal alchemy of life. We know that if I choose to do this, if I say yes and I commit myself, one, I'm not going to walk away from it, that I'm committed to it, and I take those promises or those oaths or those vows seriously. So I know I'm not going to run away from this thing when it gets hard. But, do I like who I'm going to become? Do I like how this situation is going to change me? Am I willing to go through the challenge of it? This is, again, that pressure cooker. It's the blacksmith's anvil. We know that if we agree to this, there are going to be moments where I feel like I'm getting hammered. I'm getting changed by something. Okay? We think of the piece of metal on the blacksmith's anvil getting hammered by the blacksmith. Blacksmith is the situation or spirit or whatever you want to call it. And we're that piece of metal. So I know that this is a situation that's going to change me. Do I like what I'm changing into? If I marry this person, or if I take this relationship seriously, if I commit to this person, I make it, quote unquote official, do I like how this is going to, do I like the person that I'm going to become? Okay. And the problem is we don't know the answer to those questions. We can't say definitively yes or no, right? We don't know for sure. Yeah. Now, in the past position 4, we have the dwarf, and this is the death card. And the death card is sort of representing some past events that are still influencing your present moment, okay? This is very often a card of grieving, letting go, and moving on. This is the card of slow and gradual change. This is the card of recycling all experiences and pulling in all of our energies in order to devote them to something else. Reclaiming things from the past, or from things that are no longer with us, things that are no longer in our lives. We have reclaimed that spiritual energy. We've let go of those situations or those people, places, or things. We've sort of tilled the soil. We've cleared the ground. We've tilled the soil. We're ready to plant the new seeds. Okay. So I feel like in your recent past, there was, well, this kind of represents your previous path, And I wonder if we're sort of making sure that we're not sort of on the rebound right now. You know what I mean? That we didn't, we want to make sure that we're free of the past, free and clear of this, so that I know that what I want here, and this impulse that I feel, this urge, this desire to unite with this new thing, is really truly an authentic sort of desire in my soul. And it's not just a reaction to, I've lost something in the past and I want to hurry up and replace it, you see. This is also the card of slow and gradual progress. So I wonder if there has been a very slow development of this current situation. Maybe this is a relationship that you've been in for a long time already, and it's been slowly slowly moving forward. We've been very patient. We've been very kind of slow with it, you know. We haven't been rushing into anything. And I wonder if now we're kind of seeing that there's some kind of a threshold here, that we're ready to take the next step. We're ready to make it official. We're ready to commit fully or something along those lines. Because there is some kind of this feeling of pressure right now. I don't know why, but it's as if suddenly there's like a clock ticking and it's saying, okay, you got like 10 minutes, you got to decide. You know, either do your business or get off the pot, you know. Because maybe things have been a little bit too, developing a little bit slowly. And now it feels like there could be an ultimatum. There could be a real, maybe it's pressure again coming from inside of you. I don't think anybody else is necessarily pressuring you. I feel like it's coming from inside where it's like, look, I either commit to this thing all the way or I go do something else. Maybe we feel like we've been on the fence, you know, not all in, not all out either. Okay. And so this is usually a card of a kind of a transition from one phase of life to the other. That in some ways we have to die to our previous self, the old version of us or what we had before, in order to really embrace what's here now, this choice that we're making. Okay? Well, it could be, you know, a past relationship, love relationship, and this new one that you're in. You know, it could be that really we have to sort of, at least energetically, let go of this last one so we can give our full attention and our full heart and our full mind. We can, you know, kind of devote our soul to this new thing. Because I wonder if you're kind of, the way you're looking at it is, it's not really fair to this other person if I'm still emotionally or spiritually or even intellectually tied to this last thing. Okay, it's kind of you're violating this like non-compete clause or whatever. You're like, you know, you're working for one company, but yet you're kind of starting a new job over here, and it's like it's not fair to the new job if you still have your old job, and of course you're not able to give all your attention to the old job if you're sort of more interested in this new thing. And so I feel like there needs to be a kind of a clearly defined line where it just says, okay, the past is the past, and I'm done, and I need to move forward into this new thing. Okay, because, well, this, obviously the Justice card is a card of fairness, right? So it may be that we've been trying to juggle too many things at once, and we need to make that clear decision, that a clear distinction between that was the past and this is what I'm doing now. And maybe this is just a distinction we have to make inside of ourselves that say, look, I'm done kind of lingering on the past or wondering if I made the right decision. I'm done sort of debating it and thinking about it and worrying about the past. I need to make the decision now to let go of that and be fully here and present, fully committed to whatever this thing is that you're doing now, or that you really want to do, that you feel is the right thing to do. Okay? And again, it kind of feels as if I've got one foot still in the past, yet I'm trying to walk forward. So it feels like there's something that's still kind of grabbing at your heels as you're trying to move forward. And it's, well, the Death card, you know, it's kind of saying that maybe there's something in the past that we haven't quite fully let go of, and it's preventing us from fully being present and aware, you know, in this current situation. It's like you're on a date, and you're trying to talk to your date across the table, but they're not fully paying attention, and you can tell that there's something else on their mind. And it's kind of like you want to ask, like, where are you right now? Because you're not fully here with me, like what's going on with you? And they're just like, oh, you know, part of your brain is thinking about work or whatever, right? And so it kind of feels like that, where there's part of us that is still like, I'm not really so sure about this. I haven't committed 100% yet. And I think that it's perhaps starting to really be noticeable to the point where you're feeling like I gotta hurry up and do something. I either gotta fully commit to this, or I gotta back away from it completely and deal with the past. Okay. I do feel like you're somebody who likes dancing. I don't know why that message is coming through, that you're kind of a dancer. Yeah. I don't know if you just dance around the house or something, but I feel like there's a very vibrant energy in you right now. Up above the surface, we have the Eight of Wands. It's usually a card of swiftness. It's saying something's happening fast. It's saying that there is now this kind of, I feel like right now you're kind of experiencing these fireworks. To me, this feels like chemistry, feels like sparks. Really a strong Sagittarius influence in your reading today. This is Mercury in Sagittarius. Of course, the Temperance card is the Sagittarius superpower card. So maybe there's a Sagittarius person that you are involved with, or maybe you should watch the Sagittarius reading. There might be some information there, some energy there that you need to be aware of. Okay? But up above the surface, position 5, this is the giant position. This is kind of what is coming down from spirit and motivating us. It feels like this thing that that you want to choose feels like it's very exciting. It feels as if it is chemistry. Feels as if there are sparks between you and this other thing. And maybe we're kind of weighing the options like, is this just spark? Is this just like a flash in the pan? Is this just a fling? Is this just something that feels exciting right now, or is this really something? Is there really something here? Okay, I kind of feel like we want to know if this is legit, if this is real, if this is like, you know, a lasting thing that can be sustained, or if this is like, it just feels good right now, or it's just exciting right now because it's new or whatever, right? So maybe you're trying to really assess the situation from that higher perspective. I don't want to let my emotions drive the car, because then it's like, well, it's exciting, then I'm going to go ahead and where do I sign? You know, it feels good in the moment. It's exciting right now. Let me sign up. But we don't know if it's going to fizzle out in a few days. Okay. So it could be that you're really trying to, make that decision now, if this is something lasting or if this is something that will fizzle out. And maybe we're, in a way, 8 of Swords now, maybe there's some little way where we're sabotaging that a little bit. Because if we're not fully present, if we got one foot in the past still, we're not fully engaged in the present, then maybe there won't be so many sparks. There won't be such chemistry for a long time because we're not fully there. We're not fully invested already. We're not present in the moment. You know, it's kind of like you're having that date and you're talking to the person across the table, and they don't seem like they're fully present. And because of that, you know, the situation, the date doesn't really go as well as it could have if that person was there. And it's kind of like saying, okay, well, maybe we'll try this again when you're not so distracted, you know. Because it's really hard to give something your full energy when there is, you know, when there's something else that's tugging at you, right? And I think it could be this 8 of Swords is kind of enforcing that, because that's the overthinking. That's kind of like you're not able to fully just let go and be in the moment because we're worried about something. There's something else that we're kind of chewing on, something else that we're ruminating over. Okay, and so the sparks, the chemistry that we feel may be very short-lived, because we may end up inadvertently, right? Not consciously, not purposefully, but we may end up extinguishing a little bit of that fire. So the next card then is the way forward for you, the next step for you. Mars in Aries, 2 of Wands, right? Position 6, the Imago, represents what you have to do now, what your choice is, how you are moving forward here. And this is do your business or get off the pot. This is go left or go right, go forward all the way or go backwards. Do something, make that distinction. Go from on the fence to commit to something, whether it's a yes or a no, doesn't matter. Because Spirit's saying we have to make that decision. We have to choose this life path. We can't straddle the threshold. You know, it's kind of like you're halfway in the house and you're halfway outside the house, and your mom's like, shut the door. Either, you know, your parents ever say that to you when you're, you know, when you're a kid, they say either in or out. I don't care which way you go, just shut the door. Because we're like standing in the middle of the doorway, maybe talking to somebody, but it's like I haven't gone outside yet, and I haven't gone back in and shut the door yet. It's like I'm not sure if I really want to go hang out with that kid. And your parents are like, in or out, shut the door, right? That's what Spirit's saying to you right now. Spirit's showing me some kind of a birthmark or something on your ankle. I don't know if it's a bruise or if it's swollen, but there's something on your ankle right now, yeah. The choice here is the next step. This is what really needs to be, this needs to be the immediate future, right? Making a decision, either in or out, but we got to shut the door, okay? Now we're going to talk about the path of the serpent, and as we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed, please do. These readings are free, and if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Okay, now, your persona is the Four of Swords. This is a card of truce. This is your general energy. This Four of Swords is the card of not wanting to rock the boat. This is the card of, and this is the way other people might see you right now. Okay, whatever this other entity is, the other person, place, or thing, this other path, this is the way we're sort of projecting our energy out into the world. We may not know that we're doing this, but this is kind of like we're just trying to please all the people all the time. So it's kind of like we're not really committing to anything. We're being a little bit vague. We're not taking a real stand one way or the other. And so people, you know, and we may view this as being like, I'm very magnanimous, I'm very good at mediating between things because I remain kind of unbiased. I'm not letting my prejudices get the best of me. And so you would be a good mediator with this, like, that we're not trying to argue for or against anything. We're not committing to one side or the other, that we can kind of negotiate between the two, you know, like that, and like mediation, or you want kind of an impartial third party that's going to make sure everybody is kind of playing fair, right? But this, as other people might see it, is somebody that won't make up their mind. It's like, just pick a side already. You know, it's it's like we're not really ready to commit. I'm not yet fully going outside. I'm not going inside yet. So I'm standing in the middle of the door, and the door's wide open, and you're letting the cool air out. You know. So this seems like it's kind of counterproductive right now. This isn't really helping you, because I feel like you're someone that can see all sides of the argument. You know, you try to remain very impartial here and just kind of observe the facts and say that stuff over here, that's the logic over there, and okay. But what does that really mean? We have to use these thoughts and all this data to make a decision. And so this is kind of like, I'm just remaining neutral. Okay? And if we look at the adjustment card, we see that right now the scale is set to 0. It's equal balance. So we're not leaning heavily in one direction or the other quite yet. I feel like you really truly want this in your bones. Like you feel it. This seems like this is good, but there's something that's just like, I'm trying to stay neutral. I'm not leaning one way or the other right now. So I really feel that we're on the fence over it. And we're trying not to overvalue any particular option right now, but that's kind of becoming a problem, because then we remain sort of paralyzed. It means we're not moving. Anytime we get a 4, right, we start looking for the 5. Where's the movement? This is like perfectly balanced. You know, that we're just like, you know, we're not falling, we're not leaning one way or the other. We're perfectly balanced right now. And I think this is a wonderful, it's almost an indifferent, very impartial way of being. And I think this is good as a practice. But when it comes to something like this, like a life path or a choice of a partner, choice of a career or a vocation, choice, you know, this deep life choice you're in the middle of, we gotta lean one way or the other at some point. And next card is the 8 of Swords, and this is in the environment here. And I think the problem is that we're evaluating kind of everything too much. That we're trying to collect all the data. This is Jupiter in Gemini. So we're trying to collect all the data here. I want to get all the information first. I want to know everything about you. I want to know your entire history. I want to know your family, your friends. I want to know every thought in your head before I make a decision to commit to you, you know. We can never fully do that. We can never fully know all the facts of anything. But if we're using that as an excuse, well, you know what, I don't have all the data. The data's not in yet, therefore I can't make a decision, so you're going to have to wait. I feel like this is us sabotaging ourselves, because we're making up all these reasons why I can't decide today. I'm not ready to do that yet, you know. This is that card of self-sabotage. This is the card of rumination. This is the card of so much data, so much thought, the analysis paralysis. We're getting ourselves tangled up in this ball of wires, this tangled ball of wires that we just can't sort through it anymore. And this is sometimes, this is something that is sometimes caused by our unconscious in order to protect us from committing to something, you know, keeping us safe. The Four of Swords feels safe. Maybe this is something we learned when we were kids that just said, okay, if I sort of remain neutral and impartial, no one's going to be mad at me. You know, no one gets really angry at the mediator because I'm just trying to keep everybody at peace. I'm trying to keep everybody from fighting. So I agree with you. Oh, I agree with you too. Yeah. And that way everybody stays calm and I don't have to get yelled at and my house stays calm, you know, and we learn that as kids. A lot of us do, you know. I think that, you know, now it's interfering with our ability to just kind of feel things, see things. We don't want to trust the thoughts right now, okay? Because our thoughts are trying to keep us, trying to preserve this kind of, this apparent balanced state that we're in. We're balancing on the fence, right? Which, I mean, yeah, it's balanced and it may feel like things are calm, but we can't stay on the fence forever. And maybe that's just it. We don't want so much of that chaos. I just the disruption of our calm equanimity inside of us. If I commit to the old thing, or if I commit to the new thing, that means life is going to change. That means something's going to be different. So it kind of throws us into a state of chaos. We're trying to preserve some kind of mental equilibrium here. And so by not deciding, by not choosing, by staying on the fence, maybe we feel like I am postponing the inevitable change in my life. But we know that all the twos are about change. The next step is for you to commit to something, one side of the fence or the other, either in the house or out of the house, but you got to shut the door. You're letting all the cold air out. And that means that life's going to change. Okay, if I go outside and shut the door, that means I'm not inside the house anymore. It was nice in there. It was cool in there, and now I've got to deal with whatever's outside. Maybe it's hot. Now I've got to go see what my friends are up to. I've got to get my bike, and my life has changed. Or if I say no to my friend, I shut the door, go back in the house. It's cool in here, it's nice, it's comfortable, I can watch TV, but then I'm wondering, what are my friends doing out there? You know, they're probably riding their bikes. You know, so it's like we're not going to be happy no matter what. There's always going to be some, the grass is always greener kind of thing. And that's kind of bringing us up here to the specter position. And this is our concern, this is our anxiety really, is being undecided. Okay? I think that this is kind of it's a fixed air energy, the Prince of Swords. It's representing that fact that we're on the fence. It's double air energy, yeah. But it's also kind of saying that part of our fear is committing to something because then it means we're leaving something else behind, and then we're going to wonder, like, was that the wrong move? Like I just explained, we go outside with our friends, we get our bicycle, we're always wondering like, whoa, what's my family doing in the house? It's nice and cool in there. Are they having dinner without me? You know? And then, of course, if we stay in the house, we're wondering, well, what are my friends doing outside? Are they riding their bikes? Are they having fun? Did they see the ice cream man? Did they go, around the corner, play some ball? And so we're afraid of committing to something because especially in the context of a lover's card, the lover's card is this commitment to something. It's not so much about what you're committing to, but the fact that you're not committing to everything else. We say yes to this thing, it means I have to say no to a lot of other stuff. If I give myself completely to this thing and I do this, it means I don't have anything else. And so for me, to just bring it back to myself, because everything's about me anyway, right? I'm kidding. When I started this YouTube channel 3 years ago now, in fact, yeah, it's been a little bit over 3 years. When I first started, I had a job that I was working remotely from home, and it was I've been with the company for 15 years. I was doing data entry on the computer, and I realized when it was time to make the commitment here to this YouTube channel, I realized that I wouldn't have that anymore. I wouldn't, now that I'm here doing the YouTube full time, I don't have that job anymore. I quit, right? And of course, that's like me leaving the house, going outside and being here with my friends, you folks. And I'm always wondering, like, God, I wonder how they're doing at the company. I wonder how my friends there are doing. Are they succeeding without me? So I'm like, I can't go back there. I probably could if I needed to. I prefer doing this, obviously. it's kind of like we commit to this, and that means I had to say no to that. I couldn't do both. Okay? I couldn't do both. I couldn't stay committed, fully committed to that work and that company and the job that I had, and then also be fully committed to this. And I realized that this is where I wanted to fully commit myself. And so I did, and which means that I had to make that choice. And I feel like you're pretty much in the same boat. Okay. I don't know if it's YouTube for you. I hope it is. I encourage you to do that. I think everybody should start a channel and share their talents and their skills and their passions with the world. And YouTube is such an amazing place to do that. We're so lucky that this platform exists, But this is our concern. This is our fear. Okay, that by landing on one side of the fence, we're missing out on whatever's going on the other side of the fence. And that's life. That's always going to be life, But the alternative is that we straddle the fence in our life and we don't fully commit to either one. So it's like when you're on the fence, what are you doing? You're observing what the people are doing on there, and you're observing what the people are doing on that side of the fence, but you're not participating. When you jump down on this side of the fence, you're here, you're playing with these kids, you're doing whatever's over here in this yard, right? But you don't know what your neighbor's doing. You can't see, there's a fence, right? So it's kind of like we like being on the fence because at least I can see both sides. And so I know what I'm missing on either side. We're still missing it though, Anyway, final card, Destiny card, position 10 is that Leo energy, the lust or strength card. It's the courage to pick one side of the fence or the other. And it is the full immersion. It's the realization that if I devote myself to this and I let myself feel that passion, this spark is going to grow into a raging passion here. Okay? Again, it could be romantic, it could be a life path, it could be the YouTube channel, whatever it might be. But I think you're at that point where you need to make that distinction of what side of the fence you're going to land on here. Whether this is about a career choice, a love relationship, a family direction, a new home, and a new path for your life, whatever your quest is. Okay? Whatever your quest is. Let's look at the mystery card. Position 11, the guide. This represents the voice of the silence within you, your higher self, your spirit guides bringing you a message. Usually tells you what kind of character quality you should develop in order to move forward. So I would bet that it's either going to be that Queen of Cups. I kind of don't feel the Queen of Cups anymore. Now I feel like it's an ace. Don't care what it is. It's an ace. It's an ace, or it's the Magician, which would be also an ace because it's the first major arcana, the first mystery of the tarot. Is that the first mystery of the tarot is us realizing, oh yeah, I'm the Magician. That's the first mystery of the tarot, right? So if you have a prediction anyway, put it in the comments. Here we go. Another 8. Another 8 of Wands, but in this case, it tells us something new, because the 8 of Wands in kind of traditional Rider-Waite, Pamela Coleman Smith-based illustrations shows all of our javelins traveling in the same direction. Okay, it means we've thrown everything we have at that target. In this version of the 8 of Wands, in the Thoth deck, right, it represents more of a scattered force. Dispersion. All of our energy is kind of going in all directions at once. It's like a star that explodes. And it's just shooting light and gas and dust and radiation in every direction in a spherical way all around, right? This is kind of focused. This is saying like I'm sending all my beams of light that way. And so to me, this kind of feels like that's what we have to realize is going on here, is that we're on the fence. We think we're being neutral and we're kind of undecided. What we're doing is we're scattering our force in a lot of different directions. And so we're not able to have that full immersive, successful, like powerful, experience, because our energy is going to too many different things at once. Yeah. The focus that it would take to fully experience and succeed at this one thing, this one general direction, doesn't have to be just one thing, but this general direction, that force, that attention is being scattered and wasted in all these other directions, and we end up not accomplishing anything. You decide on one yard. You're gonna hop the fence on this side. Well, there's a lot of stuff to do on that side. It may be a lot different than what's on the other side of the fence. There may be some overlap. There may be grass on both sides. Maybe one side has a pool, one side doesn't. But it's sort of like we're scattering all of our energy. That force that would be sufficient to succeed at one thing is being wasted with so many other things. And that's, I think, what Spirit's trying to tell you right now with the Pamela Smith 8 of Wands here. That in our overthinking, we are scattering our energy in too many different directions. What we need is to kind of, channel our beams of light in one particular way. And I mean, it doesn't mean that you have to, for the rest of your life, commit yourself to this one thing, because that seems scary. Of course, you have the Lover's card and the Adjustment card. You take those vows seriously. So you're kind of believing, like, if I commit to this, it means I can never change again. It means I can never do anything else in my life. You can. But I know you don't take that idea very lightly, and you don't make that decision, frivolously. It takes a lot for you to go back on your word, and so you're looking at this as like the decision of a lifetime, okay? I think this is going to be really, really big. Now, please let the lessons of these 11 stations settle into your heart. Each card is a mirror. Each station is a temple of transformation. Remember that the tarot does not dictate your future. It reveals the pattern of possibility. It invites you to co-create your destiny. If this reading has illuminated your path in any way, please share your reflections down below. Together, we journey onward, ever upward and ever inward. And we're going to do an extended reading as well if you want to stick around. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner. There is a link down below. New readings for Leo on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you are watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.